OMG, hey! Hello, everyone. It's Kenzie here, and welcome to the Kinx Jinx Podcast. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Whether you're here on YouTube or if you are listening on any of the streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, I greatly appreciate you being here. And if you are listening on one of these streaming platforms, make sure to give the pod a 5-star rating. Anyway, hey, it's been a little bit. I have needed a bit of a break this week. Yeah, but happy February, happy Lunar New Year. It is the year of the water tiger, and I am very excited because I've just always really loved tigers, and I'm also a water sign. So, hey, gonna be a good year full of courage as well as flexibility. The tiger symbolizing courage. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to deal with some background noise today because I have been slacking and I waited until today to film, which is a day that my mother is here as well, which is just never good for filming because there is just a lot of different things going on in the house. So I do apologize for that. I have been not feeling the greatest this week. And I just really needed to sulk a little bit. So I have this thing where the week before I menstruate, I just am literally not okay. And I'm really trying to figure it out because it's really stressful and I really do not appreciate the way that I act and the way that I feel during that week. So we are working on figuring out what I can do to better that, to even out my hormones throughout my cycle, and to really get on a synchronous type of schedule, like sync my health habits with my menstrual cycle so that I can freaking actually do things, because it's a roller coaster in this bitch and every month is just a wild ride. So I really need to figure out what I need to do to alleviate some of those symptoms that I get, because it's just a lot and I already deal with mental health issues, and just adding those types of hormones on top of that is a lot to deal with. Being a woman, being someone that menstruates is freaking hard, and I just don't appreciate it. Also, I will get into this more in the Valentine's Day episode that is coming up in 2 weeks, but I don't plan on having kids, so like it's just a really big burden for me to like have my period and like worry about getting pregnant. Anyway, we'll get more into that. So, like I said, year of the water tiger, the tiger symbolizing courage, big strong cat. And something that I heard a couple days ago, I believe, is that you can't have courage without fear. So, if you are fearing something, or if you want to do something but there is fear in your way, this year is going to be very good for you because the tiger has your back and you are going to be able to be your most courageous self. So if there's something that you have been wanting to do, that you just need to get over your fears and do it. This is the time. And then the other thing is the water element is giving us another tone, a little undertone of flexibility as well. So we're also going to be able to go with the flow and really just take things as they come and how the universe wants to bring them into our lives. And we're also going to be able to have courage to overcome these things. So that is kind of the overall theme for this year. So keep that in mind. And I'm very, very excited. Yeah, anyway, something that I forgot to mention is, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, you have noticed that I have done a little bit of upgrading for this month. I'm going to try and upgrade like the set and the quality every month pretty much, so stay tuned for that. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see that we have zoomed out a little bit. You can see a little bit more of my set, and I added another little neon heart light, and now we have 2 camera angles. Hey, so trying to make it a little bit more dynamic for you guys, a little bit more interesting to watch if you do like to watch it on YouTube. So hey, hope you enjoy. Leave me a comment of what you think about this new setup, and I will be adding more things in the coming months. Probably gonna add add a little element every month, something like that. Who knows? Anyway, but here we are. Also, something that you cannot see in this room, but I have been doing, is that I have been setting up this side of the room to be super cute. My bedroom is like right outside this little podcast studio door, and my bedroom aesthetic is very neutral, very earth tones, and I really love that vibe. But the other side of me is a bubbly little rainbow girl. So that is the vibe that we are going for in here. We've got a bunch of stuffies, plushes of my favorite characters from lots of gaming and movies and things like that. Got lots of those in here, and I've just been letting them, do their thing, because in here I'm going to hopefully be doing some streaming maybe in the future. I really love to play Mario games as well as Kirby games, so if that sparks your interest, definitely let me know, and I will be hopefully playing some of those in the future. We will see. Kind of just trying to work on the setup right now and see what the vibe is, and then also just, not trying to put anything else on my plate right now because, you know how that goes with me. Anyway, but I have been loving to play some Kirby and Mario games with my close friends recently, so I would love to play that with you guys, and let me know if you would also be interested in talking to me on Discord and Twitch, because that would be interesting as well. We could do a little chit-chat talking type vibe over there also. And another little type of content that I have, if you are not familiar, is that I have an OnlyFans, and I post very intimate type content over there. I have been trying to be much more on top of my shit over there, so hey, I have been posting and doing that shit. Something that I'm just working on is trying to do everything, because I really get in the grain of something, and then I forget about everything else that I have going on. Sorry for audio listeners, I just bumped the microphone. Anyway, so for example, last week I was on my OnlyFans shit, and I was like, okay, we're getting this together, okay, we're doing it, let's do it. And then that made my podcast suffer. So I'm just really working on trying to do all of my things, getting everything done, and getting everything out and popping. So something with that is that I really want to start making things more in advance so that I don't feel so overwhelmed the day of, the week of, posting the thing. So that's something that's just going in my brain right now. Hey, like I said, we're being courageous, we're being flexible this year. I'm overcoming the fear of having too many things on my plate, and we're being flexible and allowing ourselves to do what comes, do what is inspiring us in the moment, and, trying to get everything done, trying to do what we can. But if we cannot, that is okay. That is perfectly okay. So, yeah, on my OnlyFans I had posted some fitness content as well as some other little aesthetic type things, and that's a lot of the type of stuff that I will be posting over there. Fitness stuff, aesthetic type content, like me doing just basic little things, maybe in some sexy little clothes, like ASMR, mukbangs, yeah, then just aesthetic type lingerie type photos and things like that. So definitely check that out if you are interested in that type of content. Anyway, what happened since I've been gone? I'm actually going to split this up into 2 episodes, so some things that I don't talk about here will be talked about in the next episode, because we aren't slacking, okay? We are going to get one out every week. That has been my goal for this year, so even if it's late, even if we post it on a Saturday, even when it was supposed to be posted on Monday, that is okay, because we are gonna do this shit, and we're gonna get one out every week, and it's gonna be great. So yeah, hey, so worldly weekly events. First and foremost, something that I have been just diving into every single day pretty much since it has happened, since it has dropped, The Weeknd's new album. Gorgeous. gorgeous. I forgot to prepare myself because I don't remember the names of the songs, but there are some songs that I really liked off the album that I thought that I would just figured I'd give you my insight on what I thought. First and foremost, what I need to say is that I just loved the vibe that he did for this album. I love the radio aesthetic. So interesting, so original. I don't even know what else to say. I was just like, wow, this is a vibe. This is a vibe. Kind of strange in some parts, but the best art is. So I would like to say that I just absolutely commemorate you, Abel, for just making that happen and just making something that no one was expecting. And I just love that. I love that. So cool. Anyway, so some songs that I enjoyed would be my first favorite would probably be Less Than Zero. Love Less Than Zero, okay? Also, I'm feeling like I actually don't know what song goes to what title. So this might not be that accurate, but Moth to a Flame is a vibe. That one's got a lot of listens. Sacrifice? I'm gonna have to freaking... Okay, yeah, Sacrifice. I don't know. Anyway, I should have prepared more for this, but let's just say that I like the album. I enjoy it. I always give an album the, once over from the beginning to the end. And I really enjoy listening to albums in that way, because that's how they're meant to be listened to. And it's just really interesting to hear how the songs are supposed to connect and what the storyline is supposed to be throughout the album. So that was very interesting to me, how he mixed in the radio elements with the songs and just made it such a vibe. Also, the one that was the coolest to me, which isn't even really like that much of a song. Not much of a song, really. I'm pretty sure it's... Oh, Phantom Regret by Jim. Wow. That one is my shit. I love shit like that. It gives me kind of Tame Impala vibes for some reason. But yes, that one is... just, something with a mantra, something with a meaning is just so my shit. You know how it is. You know how it is. Anyway, this episode is probably not going to be that long because, like I said, we've got another episode that I'm going to be filming back to this. So, hey, don't have that much to say. Also, like I said, I've been going through it this week. So I haven't been writing that many things down. I have had a lot of thoughts that have occurred that I would have liked to talk about on the pod, but I was not okay, so I was not writing those things down. But I promise I will do better this week. I ordered some journals from Amazon, and I'm going to paint the covers of them, and I'm going to make them fucking cute so that we can have a vibe for our dream journal, our manifestation and affirmations journal, and our daily journal. So I explained this on a previous podcast, but I would like to start journaling my dreams so that I can become more in tune with what signals in my dreams tell me that I'm dreaming, if that makes sense. So if you're trying to learn how to lucid dream or astral project, this is a very helpful tip to do, to just write down your dreams right after you wake up, everything that you can remember from them, because once you start doing that, you start recognizing patterns that make it obvious to yourself in your dream that you are dreaming. And once you start to realize that you're dreaming while you're dreaming, that's how you get to a lucid state and eventually can begin to control that in astral projection. So, yeah. Lots of different things to unpack there. But anyway, where was I going? Oh yeah, dream journal. Okay, that's the dream journal. Then I have my manifestations and affirmations journal, which is really just a type of journal that I like to use in the morning before the day is started, like after my morning meditation, to really just set my intentions for the day and get out anything that I need to get out. Affirm things that I would like to think for the day. Just set a positive theme for the day. And then the daily journal is something that I use at night. And that one is for writing down things that happened throughout the day, thoughts that I had throughout the day, things that I want to remember and reflect on. So yeah, like I said, I will be painting some of those covers, and those will become in use on a daily basis. It's really important when you're doing a journal to really put an intention into that physical journal. So by painting the cover for me, that's really going to allow me to put that intention that I want into that journal for each of those set purposes. Really put an image to the meaning and, just inspire me a little bit. I'm a very visual person, so a lot of times I really need something visual to just be able to, I don't know. Anyway, like I have said, the last week has been a lot, and if you have any tips, tricks, or people I should follow or go to for this, definitely let me know. I would very much appreciate it. Like I said, talking about menstruation and keeping hormones in balance throughout your cycle, and just learning how I can subdue some of the symptoms of PMS, I guess. But I don't know. I just get so sad, and I just feel like I can't do anything. I've never done anything in my life, and I can't do anything ever again, which obviously isn't true. I just feel that way the week before my period, and it's not fun. So, hey, let me know if you have any recommendations for that. I would appreciate it. Anyway, something that I have been doing, which has been helping me feel a lot better about myself, is I have been eating a lot better the last few weeks. And something that occurred to me in the shower this morning, which I don't know why I didn't really think about this before, but makes sense now. You are what you eat. We've all heard this saying. When I was a kid, I really thought of it in a body shape type of way, I guess, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I thought about it like that. Anyway, so thinking about it in a more rounded way, you are what you eat, in the fact that if you are eating shit every day, you are going to feel like shit. And I never really put those two things together. I don't know why, but I think it's because I have a really fast metabolism, and I have not had to worry about what I eat weight-wise for my entire life. So I've been able to just eat what I want when I want, and that is perfectly fine. If you're able to do that, do it. Great. Awesome. If that makes you happy, cool. But something that I have realized is that when I eat things that are processed, that are yada yada yada, not homemade, all of that, when I eat things like that, I do not feel good. It makes me feel so much better when I have cultivated the ingredients, gotten all the ingredients together by myself, the raw ingredients that you need to make the food, put them all together, chopped them up, cooked them, and then you have leftovers of a thing that you made with your hands. That, for some reason, is, I don't know. I think that there is something to be said about putting intention into food, because water holds memory, which I know sounds crazy. I know Olaf told us this, but seriously, water has memory, and water is a very, very strong conductor of intention. So if you set an intention into water that it's literally live now. Like, it's like you just set something off in that water, and it is now something that can heal you. It's something that can put this manifestation into existence. So, taking the time to make your own food and to really put love and care into your food, or even just doing a small like prayer or just manifestation type thought before eating, is so powerful in how the nutrients of the food are absorbed into your body. So that is something that I have been trying to pay a lot of attention to recently, and also just eating things that feel more nutritional anyway. So something that I have been eating for breakfast for many a days now, because I get in these moods where I eat the same thing for probably like a month, maybe. It depends. I mean, it changes. So I might like one food for like a whole month. I don't know. It just like I get in these like phases with food. So something that I've been eating pretty much every day for the last couple weeks is an egg in a frame. And if you don't know what this is, you may be calling it by a different name, such as egg in a nest, egg in a hole. People call it many different things, but it's basically a piece of bread that you toast. You don't put it in the toaster, you just toast it like in the pan, you know? And then you cut a circle in it with a glass or whatever, and then you put the egg in the hole of the bread. So then you got an egg, and you got bread, and you got an egg in the bread, you know? And then you got the whole of the bread out of there. You could toast that too. And then you keep the egg a little bit dippy. If you like dippy eggs, that is the vibe for this meal. But you can also, I'm sure you can make it hard, over hard also. But I like my eggs runny. So, egg in a frame with avocado on top. And it's basically like avocado toast with an egg. And it's just amazing. Just amazing. And I've also been drinking the chocolate carnation instant breakfast drinks, which are full of protein, and I've been drinking them with almond milk because my stomach does not love dairy. So that has been the healthy breakfast that I have been doing the last couple days, and for some reason, there's probably science behind this, but for some reason, when I eat breakfast, it makes me hungrier throughout the day. Like, I used to, like, a couple months ago, I was only eating, like, 2 meals a day because I would just eat lunch and then I would just eat dinner. But since I've been eating breakfast, it has made me want to eat more for lunch and dinner. So, yeah, that's a thing. That's doing good for me. But, I mean, there's so many things. I just saw a TikTok last night. I don't think I've ever said this phrase yet on my podcast, but I will be saying it a lot more often, because TikTok is great, okay? It just opens your mind to a lot of different things, and it's just a good vibe, you know? So I just saw a TikTok the other day, and it was about this guy who is a breatharian, which he literally doesn't eat. He gets all of his nutrients from his breath. Isn't that wild? So there's a lot of different ways to live your life, okay? And one may not be good for others, you know? I mean, like, something that's good for me might not be good for you, something that's good for someone else might not be good for someone else. So, take everything with a grain of salt, you know, and find out what is best for you. That is why I like to know about specific things to do with food. So I really want to know about like specific herbs, what they do and how they are affecting everything, you know, and different foods, what they do, how they affect everything, and really just getting to the base of food and the basis of how everything works so that I can know, I don't know, I just don't trust all these like fads and like, I don't know. It's just wild. Like, health is a really sketchy system, I feel like. Especially in the United States. It's just really confusing. It doesn't need to be that confusing. I feel like we could make it easy, but it's hard right now. I think that's how a lot of things are. We've been going one way for so long, it's hard to turn back. Anyway, I got kind of off topic, so sorry about that. Let's move forward. So, I put a poll on my Instagram story asking you guys what you would like to hear from me, and a common theme was talking about coping mechanisms. So, I guess this is kind of in the same vein of what I was talking about before. Coping mechanisms. So, how I want to start this convo is talking a bit about my outlook on life. So, I went through a spiritual awakening in 2018, and since then, I have been on this path of trying to move my life in a positive direction. And doing that is something that boils down to every single part of your life, especially if you are on a spiritual path. Because if one thing is out of line, the whole thing is out of line. So, I have been focusing on positive thinking for the last, 4 years now? So, I think this all started with my learning of the law of attraction. So if you have not done research on the 12 laws of the universe, I highly suggest that. And if you'd like me to talk about it, definitely let me know because I can do that. But anyway, the 12 laws of the universe are things that I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so the law of attraction is one of the laws of the universe. So the law of attraction basically states that you attract what you are resonating with. So this goes down into talking about energy, talking about matter. That's the basis of the universe, you know. So talking about those things in that aspect. You are an energetic being who has a certain vibration, and you can change that vibration with your thoughts. So if you want something, you must change your vibration to align with the fact that you already have that thing so that the universe knows to send it back to you. So if you are having bad self-talk, whatever, yada yada, things like that, that will be brought back into your life. So it's really important to notice that, and that is the first step, for me at least it was, to changing my thought patterns. And that is obviously an everyday work in progress type thing, because I still go through spouts where I'm worried about silly things, because I'm a human, and yeah. So something that really helps with that is gratitude. And I saw this on Gary V's Instagram earlier, so that's why I said it like that. I feel like I took a lot of his lingo there. Anyway, so when you see, okay, sorry, let me go back a little bit. So, when you are thinking, or when you're just existing, a thought comes in, okay? And you can decide whether to keep that thought, think about it, and resonate with it, and keep it in there, and keep it moving, or you can decide to send it right out the other side. So, that is the first important practice, I believe, to truly starting to change your life, because you have to realize that you are not your thoughts, and you can decide what thoughts you want to resonate with and what thoughts you do not. So the longer you think about something, the more power it has, and the more it is, culminating in there. So if you're having a negative thought, the best thing that you can do is flip it around and think the positive. So the example that I always use is something that I get very anxious about, which is driving. So, I I've had a lot of trauma with driving in the past. I will get into that story at a later time. But that being said, a common thoughts that aren't supposed to be there, what are they called? A common intrusive thought that I have while I'm driving is that I'm not going to make it home safe, that I'm going to crash. So, or someone's going to crash into me. That's my, Anyway, so something that I do to flip that around is I visualize and repeat to myself that I always get home safely. And I visualize myself pulling into my driveway, pulling into my parking spot, and that is the key for me to stop having that intrusive thought. Send it right out the other side because you affirmed to yourself the positive of what you want to happen. So that is what I would say for the very first step to coping with anything, honestly, is how I would like to deal with things. Obviously, no one is perfect. I am still working on these things every single day, but that is something that I would love to share with you guys so that you can start to implement that in your life, because it is something that very, very drastically changed my life. So, hey, another thing that I am wanting to get into more is breath work. You have absolutely no idea how powerful your breath is. And I really want to start learning more about that. Yes. Also, journaling. These are just some quick little things. Gonna just kind of skim over some quick little things you could do, because that one that I mentioned is kind of my basis for everything coping. But some other things that you can do on a daily basis to change and cope and deal with things that you are going through. So, breath work. Journaling, literally just writing down the things that you are going through. Sometimes it literally just takes as much as saying things out loud, writing them down on paper to really be able to think things through. So that is definitely one that is good. Another one that is kind of like a body type thing is taking a cold shower. And I know this is awful. You don't have to go all the way to the cold side. You could just go like kind of in the middle. That's what I've been doing because I can't do that like literally frigid shit. But I do the kind of cool shower. So, cold showers. Your body, the way that it reacts in the cold is it literally starts to go into a healing mode. So, it's very, very, very beneficial to take cold showers or to just go out in the cold, take walks outside. It's just very, very good for your immune system and for your body to go into a healing mode. And it also just really does something for your depression and the chemicals in your brain when you take a cold shower. And then something else that I already kind of mentioned is changing your thought patterns, just realizing your thoughts and changing the way that you think. Also, you can express your emotions in healthy ways, because sometimes, like yesterday, I could not get out of bed, and I did not want to get out of bed, and I could not do it. So, expressing your emotions in healthy ways, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do, Sometimes you just have to lay in bed. Sometimes you just have to, be mad. So, ways to express your emotion in healthy ways are through art, through listening to music. If you have a safe place where you can safely do this, to smash things is fun, a rage room if you are experiencing those types of emotions, but definitely do that in a safe practice, obviously. So, healthy ways. Do that. It's okay to literally experience any emotion that you are experiencing. Any human emotion is literally okay to experience. It is how you act on that emotion that matters. So if you just fully experience it in yourself, allow yourself to experience it, maybe make something out of it, that is the best thing that you could possibly do. And something that is very, 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 very important for coping is practicing gratitude. Whenever you're worried about a silly little thing, just remember everything that you are grateful for. Even if you still can't act upon that thing, just expressing that gratitude is very important, because there's always someone who's in a worse situation than you, and you literally always, always, always have something to be grateful for. Whether it is just the shoes on your feet, the water you are able to drink, literally anything. You always have something to be grateful for. So always just take that into account. Also, just practicing gratitude like in the morning and at night before you go to bed and when you wake up is just very, very beneficial to starting your day on a good mode. Yeah, and just really allowing yourself to feel what you feel and trying to understand that feeling and where it's coming from and what you could do to maybe make yourself not feel it again or to learn from the experience. Yeah, so that is the coping mechanisms that I have to offer you. Thank you for asking for that. And definitely let me know over on my Instagram if there's anything else that you'd like to hear me talk about. Another thing that I've just kind of jotted down this week is that I know that I don't know everything and that I am okay with making mistakes because I made a mistake in my last podcast. It was a really stupid mistake. It was just a word that I mispronounced or wasn't a word that I used. I used a word that wasn't a word. I said candorous, when really the word for candor as a noun is candid. But, yeah. Anyway. Adjective, actually? To be candid? Yeah. Adjective. Anyway, okay. Like I said, I don't know everything. I'm learning along the way. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm okay with being corrected. And I'm okay with apologizing. So, keep that in mind throughout the pod. I don't know everything. And if you would like to correct me on something, definitely do that because I appreciate it. I appreciate learning from my mistakes. So, thank you. Also, something that I was going to do real quick that I forgot to grab the thing for is I would like to do a quick little recurring segment. And this is the first of this segment, and this one is going to be called Spirit Reading. So, if you are familiar with tarot or oracle cards, or if you are not familiar with them, they are these decks of cards that have a different meaning to each card, and they can also have a meaning whether the card comes out upright or reversed. And really, you can use these cards to connect with spirit to get answers to a question that you may have. So, or just to get some just basic insight or guidance. So, let me go pick a deck real quick, and we are going to do a quick little reading. I just want to acknowledge that I don't know how to really read cards. So, I don't really use my intuition that much. I'd really just read the book meaning, which is perfectly fine. That is how I'm going to learn how to do the actual readings where I just know the cards like the back of my hand. But I do not know that now, so don't judge me. We're going to do a basic little reading where I just read the book definition, and I hope that you can get something from this. So, give me 1 second. Keep your question in mind if you have a specific question that you would like answered, or just be open-minded to any specific guidance that you might need. And also the other thing with tarot and oracle cards is that you can completely take with you something that resonates, or you can completely leave it if it does not. So keep that in mind. 1 second. Okay, so the deck that I have chosen for today's reading is the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck. This deck is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. The way that the holographic is on the side of the box as well as the side of the cards. Gorgeous. Love it. Anyway, so we're really just going to ask Spirit to come through for us today to give us some guidance for the collective, for anyone that is seeing this video, or listening to the podcast on any of the streaming platforms. So, hello Spirit, welcome, and allow us to gain guidance from you. I kind of love doing this. It's really fun, and I just really appreciate the freedom of it, And I also just really like things like this, kind of trying to get some guidance from other worldly sources. Who knows, So, anyway, here we are. We're just kind of waiting for something to pop out, kind of feeling it out, seeing what's needing to be seen, and I'm feeling like it's her. So, we're going to see if we need anything else. And I believe it might just be that today, but let's see. So, we're going to flip this card over and we're going to see what we've got. So, the card that we drew is the moon. Okay? The moon card. And if you read tarot, you already know what this means, but we are going to read the definition. So, here we go. The moon. Surreal, subconscious, shadow self. Abstract and surreal, the moon illuminates our shadow selves, the parts of us that are ruled by the subconscious. They are brought to light by our dreams and fears, often projecting insecurities onto the people and scenarios in our life. The more aware we become of our unconscious, the more we are able to identify whether we are acting from our irrational thoughts or our conscious mind. So, wow, interesting that it mentions that when I was just talking about silencing those... Why can I not think of that word? Silencing those thoughts that you don't want. What is that word? Why can't I think of it? Anyway. Go beyond the surface and dive deep to resolve your inner issues. Your intuition will guide you even when it doesn't seem to make any sense. Psychic forces are at play, with illusions unraveling to reveal the truth. It can be hard to decipher between what is real and what is imagination, but it is all connected. Pay close attention to your dreams and listen to your gut instincts. Your weaknesses are also your best strengths. Okay. Interesting. I think we're going to pull one more, see what else we have in store. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. It's been fun. I was really kind of dreading filming this week, and I thought that it kind of turned out well. So, hey, also really hoping that you're enjoying the new setup and the new vibe of the video. So, we just got the Three of Swords in reverse. So, let us see what we have for that. So, Three of Swords reversed says, releasing pain, healing heart, and forgiveness. Broken hearts mend with time. You've given yourself a period to mourn your losses, and you are now ready to let go and move on. The swords are sliding out of your broken heart, releasing from your prison of pain. From numbness to heartache, your roller coaster of emotions is at its end of the ride, giving you freedom to look forward with hope and deeper understanding of your needs and wants. Forgiveness to yourself and those who hurt you will cleanse your soul of sadness so that eventually you can make room for joy once again. Healing is a process, so be proud of yourself for all the work that you've done to be in a place to move on. Wow. Gorgeous. That's actually very funny and kind of pertains to something that I was going through this morning. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for today's podcast. I absolutely love you. If you are watching this video on YouTube, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell icon so that you can get notified every time I upload a new video. Also, if you're watching this on or if you're listening to this on the audio platforms, please make sure to give this podcast a 5-star review. I would absolutely love that and very, very much appreciate that. Also, if you'd like to follow me on any of my other social media accounts, you can follow me at I am Kinx Jinx. Thanks again, and I absolutely love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.